Today, I'm in southwestern Malaysia to visit the beautiful port town of Malacca. Malacca is known for its unique east and west history. It has had historical affiliations with the Portuguese, Dutch and English during its rise as a commercial centre of trade. These days, it is still a popular trading hub, but increasingly known as a famous tourist destination. Join me on this journey of Malacca and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting Husmeister adventures. Salamat pagi from Malacca. I am in this beautiful historical town today and I am standing on the bridge right in front of the Malacca River. This particular spot is really strategic because just over here you have Jonker Walk, which is where all the restaurants are, and then there's a number of eateries, cafes, you name it, it's all there. You've got the beautiful river here where you can take a ferry and then go around the different canals, and that actually feels a little bit like Amsterdam. And on this side we have the museum and we have the church, the Christ Church. So it's also called Red Square over here, just down that way there. Beautiful part of the world, Malacca. I'm here for a day trip and I'm going to take everybody on this journey with me so we can go ahead and tour this beautiful town in Malaysia, or southern Malaysia. The Red Square is the Dutch quarter of Malacca. You are greeted by a cow and windmill that represents the fertile pastures of the Dutch farms back home in the Netherlands. Across the road is the famous Stadhuis, former Dutch administrative building, and Christ Church, an 18th century Anglican church built by the Dutch. You'll never be short of things to see in Red Square. Live music entertains the crowds of tourists as they rush to Red Square to take photos. Please be patient when taking photos because there is a lot of tourists here, especially on the weekends. After a short while, I head up the hill behind Red Square to Bukit Melaka, also known as St. Paul's Hill. Wow, you can see Malacca from a bird's eye view up here. The Church of St. Paul is the first building you encounter on the hill. This church was built in 1521 and only the walls are standing today. Interestingly, the church has grand tombstones from the Dutch cemetery. I'm no fan of cemeteries, but these tombstones seem to be more like pieces of art. The statue of St. Paul stands tall in front of the church looking over the hill. The statue is missing its right hand. It was struck allegedly by lightning after his death. Ironically, this is the hand that was amputated also after his death and sent to various parts of the world for some unknown reason. So we've just come down from the burial ground and the church, and then as you come down those steps, you find yourself at the old fort, and this fort is quite famous. There's been a lot of history here. The Dutch captured this fort from the Portuguese, and then they actually constructed the fort at the time with the stones of old buildings in the local neighbourhood. And this is what's pretty much left of it today. And when the Dutch did take over, they actually defaced a lot of the Portuguese inscriptions that were there at the time, and then they made and transferred everything into Dutch writing and Dutch imagery, etc. The fort played a key role in overlooking the water, the seas, which are just in front of us. But the ironic thing is, the sea has now been pushed back because there's a whole heap of reclaimed land in the area. So now we're out inland, and so is the fort. But back in the day, this fort was used also to kind of keep an eye out on the high seas and see if the enemy was around the corner. These days, it's nothing more than a historical relic and a lot of people taking Instagram photos.
They are still reclaiming the land, you see? Reclaiming the land? Yeah, still reclaiming the land. Yeah. Wow. This is the mouth of the Malacca River. It used to be bigger than this. But when they reclaim the land, they shorten the
Rightio, we're on Jonker Walk, and Jonker Walk is an awesome place if you're looking for antiques or if you're looking for food. Apparently some of the antiques here go back as much as 300 years old. You can see the old Chinese architecture, the old coffee shop style homes, very traditional. This street is really good. You can really walk up and down here and get like lots of different sweets, cakes, foods, there's restaurants, and I quite like this street. I've just been walking up and down having a look at all the different antique stores, and there's a number of temples as well. So if you look up here, there's temples probably every 100 meters or so. There's a temple, and people are actively praying in them, and I'll show you a little bit of this temple here on my left as I walk by. But after this I'm heading to do the boat cruise, which I'm really excited about. This temple behind me is quite unique. It is the only temple where they've mixed 3 religions together: Confucianism, Taoism and Buddhism. Let's go and have a look. I think this is amazing. I've never really been to a temple like this before. There's a lot of chanting going on, so let's check it out. Malacca really is a hot pot of cultures, religions, everything all in one. It's also the home to the Nonya people, who are a mix of Chinese and local Malay people who have lived here for hundreds of years and created a fusion culture. It's so fascinating, and they also have awesome food. Their food is just to die for. It's a mix of Chinese and Malay food. I love it. Let's go have a look in the temple. Right, so it's very hot here in Malacca, so I've decided to take a boat cruise and go down the Malacca River. Hopefully this cools us off, because today is extremely hot. Right, we're on the boat cruise, guys. We're here in Malacca. This is the Malacca River, and I have a new friend from Portugal.
Yes, and it's been an amazing trip. This guy is telling me a lot of things I didn't know about, so I hope you guys are watching his channel.
So my friend Ricardo is here from Portugal, and he's enjoying Malaysia, and he wants to extend his holiday, and I've told him he should, but he's thinking to go to Singapore, was it?
No, I've been to Singapore, so maybe going to Thailand again, but I've been to Bangkok, so maybe in one of the islands or something, you know. So I just want to see something new. And I think Singapore you can do like in 3 days or so, go. So
Definitely.
So I definitely. But if I would go to Singapore, I would try and go to the airport because obviously it's one of the biggest airports in the area. So yeah.
Singapore, check the pollution before you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
There's
We went a couple of
Bangkok.
weekends ago, and last week the government was telling people to stay inside.
Bangkok and Singapore, a lot of pollution at the moment. Yeah, at the moment, but it might clear up.
Oh,
But my advice to you is don't go back to Europe in a hurry. Relax.
that's absolutely
Enjoy
true.
Asia.
Even if I have to spend an extra ticket because I have a return ticket, but who cares? Money is nothing. When I mean, they've seen the views, right? It's amazing, right? So come on. Very sweaty, but worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, so here I am on the boat, doing the boat cruise on the Malacca River. Coming alongside the Malacca River, behind me is Kampung Morten, which is a traditional Malaysian town. Very nice today, perfect weather for a boat cruise. Our boat's pretty full of tourists. We've got people from everywhere. We've got, people, as you saw earlier, you saw Ricardo, who's from Portugal. We've got people from India, we've got people from China, and this boat cruise is a mix between, the feeling is a mix between Europe and Asia. I feel like I'm cruising in Amsterdam through the channels, but at the same time my surroundings are also very Asian. So this is a unique experience. When you come to Malacca, make sure you do the boat cruise because you won't be disappointed. And you'll also get to see the perimeters of the old city. And to do that by walking is probably too hard. You will need to jump on the boat or get some kind of transport. Look at the beautiful bridges, look at that. Beautiful bridges everywhere. So, when you're in Malacca, do the boat cruise and you won't be sorry. You'll love it. It goes for about 45 minutes and you get to enjoy 45 minutes of cruising on the river. The other great positive about the boat cruise is you can jump off anytime. You'll see people getting off at different stops to explore the perimeters of Malacca. So you don't have to stay on the cruise. Keep your ticket and you can hop on and off, wait for the ferry and then it can take you back. So it's like a hop on, hop off bus tour, but on the water. So you've got a lot of options here and that's the beauty about it. And it costs 30 ringgit at this point of time, which is approximately $9.50 Australian, maybe about $7 US, and maybe about €6. Well worth it. Ricardo, should we try the Portuguese tarts?
Hell no.
Why not?
I need Portugal originals.
Really?
Exactly.
So we shouldn't try these ones? Wow.
I'm not even going to try it because I feel like it's sin to my culture.
Really? Well, you know what? What if I buy you one? Would you try it then?
If I don't like it, I will give you honest review.
Okay. All right. I think we'll buy one. We'll buy 3. You sure? You don't want one? Okay, we're buying. Ricardo,
Let's
my
see how this
Portuguese
goes.
friend.
Honest review, I swear.
Honest review. But just remember, keep in mind it's Melaka style.
Okay, it's Melaka style. I'm going to try and be open-minded. So let's see.
Terima kasih.
The workers there, I cannot be honest. It's not as sweet.
It's not as sweet.
It's savoury, but not as sweet. That's my honest opinion.
So it should be sweeter.
Should be sweeter. But you do in Portugal you add cinnamon on top of it. Cinnamon, not cinnamon. Some cinnamon that makes it sweeter. So that's I suggest it. But yeah, so nice, but not as sweet.
Not as sweet.
So go to Portugal.
There it is there. Our last stop is the St. Peter's Church. Built by the Portuguese, this is the oldest Roman Catholic church in Malaysia. I'd like to add at this moment that Malacca really is a city of churches. An interesting fact about this church is that it had sourced its bell from Goa in India. As I walk around the church, I feel like I'm in the Caribbean somewhere at an outpost of the Portuguese Empire. Time has really stood still here, while just a stone throw away, big buildings tower over the church. On that note, this wraps up my visit to Malacca. I hope you've enjoyed the tour. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my adventures, and a big adios from your friend, the Husmeister.